The NBA Most Valuable Player Award is often considered the most prestigious individual award a player can receive. All four major American sports leagues have their version of the MVP. Leagues like the NBA and NFL have one MVP award for the entire league, while the MLB has one MVP for each conference. So what if the NBA was the same way? Today we're going to be looking at who would have won the MVP for each conference in each season, and in this video we're going to be looking at the decade of the 2000s. Comment below if you agree or disagree with these picks. I will be making these choices based off the MVP votes that the players received in each season, so that none of my personal biases will be involved. Alright, let's get into it. In the year 2000, Shaquille O'Neal won regular season MVP while playing in the Western Conference, and this season the Eastern Conference MVP would have been Alonzo Mourning of the Miami Heat. Shaq definitely deserved the Western MVP this season, as he was just one vote off of being the first ever unanimous MVP in NBA history. This season, he averaged 30 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 blocks on 57% shooting while leading the Lakers to the number 1 seed in the West. The Eastern MVP this season, however, Alonzo Mourning, is a player that is not normally talked about when talking about the greatest players of the time, but that would now certainly change with him now having an MVP to his name. This season, Alonzo Mourning averaged 22 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 blocks per game on 55% shooting while leading the Heat to the number 2 seed in the East. He also won Defensive Player of the Year this season, and an interesting fact, if we were doing Defensive Player of the Year for each conference, then these two would also win the Defensive Player of the Year for each conference as they finish as the top 2 in DPOY voting. In the year 2001, Allen Iverson won the league MVP while playing in the Eastern Conference, and this season, the Western MVP would have been the power forward for the San Antonio Spurs, Tim Duncan. Duncan was just in his 4th year in the NBA, but he was absolutely dominating as he averaged 22 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 blocks on 50% from the field as he led the Spurs to the number 1 seed in the West. Allen Iverson wins it for the East as he led the league in scoring this season at 31 points a game, along with 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals on 42% from the field, 32% from 3, and 81% from the line, while leading the Sixers to the number 1 seed in the East. In the year 2002, Tim Duncan won the regular season MVP while playing in the Western Conference, and this season the Eastern MVP would have been the point guard for the New Jersey Nets, Jason Kidd. This would now be Duncan's 2nd straight MVP, as he would massively step up his game from even his reigning MVP season, as this season he averaged 26 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 blocks on 51% shooting and 80% from the line, as he led the Spurs to the 2nd seed in the West. Jason Kidd this season would start his absolute prime, as he averaged 15 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2 steals on 39% from the field, 32% from 3, and 81% from the line, while leading the Nets to the number 1 seed in the East. Jason Kidd now being an MVP player would now greatly help how he is viewed, and when the convo between him and Steve Nash would now become a lot more interesting. In the 2003 season, Tim Duncan won the regular season MVP while playing in the Western Conference, and this season, the Eastern MVP would have been Tracy McGrady from the Orlando Magic. Tim Duncan now receives his 3rd consecutive MVP, greatly helping his GOAT resume. While in the East, Tracy McGrady would have the greatest season of his career, as he led the league in scoring, averaging 32 points, along with 7 rebounds and 6 assists and 2 steals, on 46% from the field, 39% from 3, and 79% from the line, as the Magic finished as the 8th seed in the East. Tracy McGrady now being an MVP would greatly help his resume, as it would help people truly realize how good his absolute peak was. In the year 2004, Kevin Garnett won the league MVP while playing in the Western Conference, and this season the Eastern MVP would have surprisingly been Jermaine O'Neal of the Indiana Pacers. This was the greatest season of KG's career, as he averaged 24 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks on 50% from the field and 79% from the line, while leading the Wolves surprisingly to the number 1 seed in the West. Jermaine O'Neal, on the other hand, is not a player you would expect to win a league MVP in this system, though this season he averaged 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 assists and 3 blocks on 43% from the field and 76% from the line, as the Pacers finished as the number 1 seed in the East. In the modern day, Jermaine O'Neal is barely talked about, but him being a league MVP would now definitely change that. In the year 2005, Steve Nash won the league MVP while playing in the Western Conference, and this season, the East MVP now goes to Shaquille O'Neal, now of the Miami Heat. This was Steve Nash's first season with the Suns, as he turned their franchise around drastically record-wise, as he averaged 16 points, 3 rebounds, 12 assists, on a ridiculously efficient 50% from the field, 43% from 3, and 89% from the line, while leading the Suns to the number 1 seed in the West. This was also Shaq's first season with his new team, as this season he averaged 23 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 blocks on 60% from the field and 46% from the line, as he led the Miami Heat to the number 1 seed in the East. This would now be his second MVP of the decade. In the year 2006, Steve Nash won the league MVP while playing in the Western Conference, and this season, the Eastern MVP would have gone to the Cleveland Cavaliers' third-year player, LeBron James. Steve Nash now gets his second straight MVP, as this season he averaged 19 points, 4 rebounds, and 11 assists, on 51% from the field, 44% from 3, and 92% from the line, while leading the Suns to the number 2 seed in the West. In the East, LeBron James was a mere 21 years old in just his third NBA season, but he would start to absolutely control the league as he wins his first ever MVP, as this season he averaged 31 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals on 48% from the field, 34% from 3, and 74% from the line, while leading the Cavs to the number 4 seed in the East. In the year 2007, Dirk Nowitzki won league MVP while playing in the Western Conference, and this season the East MVP would have been LeBron James. This season, Dirk averaged 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists on 50% from the field, 42% from 3, and 90% from the line, while leading the Mavs to the number 1 seed in the West. LeBron now gets his second consecutive MVP, as this season at just 22 years old, he averaged 27 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals, on 48% from the field, 32% from 3, and 70% from the line, while leading the Cavs to the number 2 seed in the East. In the year 2008, Kobe Bryant won the league MVP while playing in the Western Conference, and this season the East MVP would go to Kevin Garnett, now the Boston Celtics. Kobe finally receives a league MVP, as this season he averaged 28 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals on 46% from the field, 36% from 3, and 84% from the line, while leading the Lakers to the number 1 seed in the West. Kevin Garnett now receives his second league MVP, as he now becomes the second player of the decade to get both a West MVP and an East MVP, as he gets it in his first season with rival of Kobe's team, the Boston Celtics, as this season he averaged 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists on 54% from the field and 80% from the line, while leading the Celtics to the number 1 seed in the East, as he also won Defensive Player of the Year this season. This would also be the first year of this decade where the 2 MVPs of each conference would meet in the NBA Finals. Ending out the decade, in the 2009 season, LeBron James won the league MVP while playing in the Eastern Conference, and this season the West MVP would have been Kobe Bryant of the LA Lakers. Kobe now receives his second straight MVP, as this season he averaged 27 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals on 47% from the field, 35% from 3, and 86% from the line, while leading the Lakers to the number 1 seed in the West. LeBron now receives his third MVP in 4 seasons, as this season he averaged 28 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals on 49% from the field, 34% from 3, and 78% from the line, while leading an underwhelming Cavs team to the number 1 seed in the East. Overall, here are the MVP picks for each year of the decade. Starting off with the West, we have 2000 Shaquille O'Neal, 01 Tim Duncan, 02 Tim Duncan, second, 03 Tim Duncan, third, 04 Kevin Garnett, 05 Steve Nash, 06 Steve Nash, second, 07 Dirk Nowitzki, 08 Kobe Bryant, and 09 Kobe Bryant, second. And in the East, we have 2000 Alonzo Mourning, '01 Allen Iverson, '02 Jason Kidd, '03 Tracy McGrady, '04 Jermaine O'Neal, '05 Shaquille O'Neal, second, '06 LeBron James, '07 LeBron James, second, '08 Kevin Garnett, second, and '09 LeBron James, third. Do you agree with these choices, and which one shocked you the most? Leave a comment below in the comment section below. Bye.